Good afternoon, how are we? So this is the end of the Maize. They've got on really well, and it seems to have all went really good. So we're just down outside Killen, this Connell. So this is their third year in growing maize, so another really good crop, and Chris is happy enough there. So yeah, everything's going good. There's only the 3 tractors and trailers down here today, just because all the fields are relatively near hand and close to the yard. So you see there, like I'm standing in the field, it's literally beside the pit. So yeah, it's all good. I think the boys are quite glad to get a wee run out of the yard. The past couple of weeks have just been spent washing and working with cattle and everything, so it's nice to get a wee run out and do something different. So that's Philly in the 1180, so she will be, she's the harvesters, and probably most of the tractors actually haven't even been washed yet, so he was probably saving to get this here all right up and done before he goes and starts washing and looking around her. And all our harvesters actually do go back down to McGee's. They'll go down at some stage and then they'll come back up again before next season, just to get a good service and a good once over by the mechanics. So that's always the case every year. Laughing there. Daddy daycare is in full swing. Full swing today. Adam has a baby on his knee in the buck rig. Philip has oldest girl Katie in beside him in the harvester, and then my other boy Max is in the AS there beside Kevin. So always a family affair. But anyway, yeah. I know that everybody was kind of getting a wee bit apprehensive just about kind of the end of Maize, and just how much rain that there'd been just the past couple of weeks. There has been an awful lot of really bad days where it's just rain from morning to night. There's been a lot of flooding and stuff as well. Actually, even here last Friday, they had probably some of the worst flooding that they've seen in a long time. So yeah, it was kind of a wee bit, what are we going down to? You know, and that's why Kevin's stealing about there still with the tyre on the A-frame there in the front of the AS. But yeah, so far so good. Everything's going good, and they'll be glad to get this red up and everything washed. And Chris will be delighted to get this in the pit and rid of us for another year. So I just moved into the last field here, and this is for Chris and Alistair Connell. So they farm just between Dungiven and Lunvady, and that was Chris I seen with the tape measure. So there, it's 10 feet tall. I'm 5 foot something or other, and so it's almost twice the height of me. So yes, good job. Looks well. The corn's nice and hard on it, so it's all good. So fella's only after just doing the end ring there. So he hooks on the trailer, pulls it around behind him, and then he does a big split up the middle, and then he's just hooking off the trailer now and giving it back to Kevin, and then they'll just start cutting as normal now. So there's my cob that's been missed. So nice and yellow, nice and hard. Exactly what you want to see. So I suppose you can say the maize window for us is quite short, and it's very much just dependent on the maturity of the cob, so when we can get cutting. So and then the weather as well. Obviously we are in Northern Ireland, we can't forget about the weather, but yeah, so we'll be read up. Today is the 4th of November, so yep, that's it for another year, which is quite good, because by the looks of everything there's quite a lot of washing to be done. Yeah, so this time of year there's still quite a lot of work is going on. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, there's everything that is being washed bit by bit within an inch of its life, and there's fixing and everything going on. Yes, we do break things, yes, things do need to go into the workshop, but that's just what the boys spend these ones doing, just kind of before slurry and that gets back going again in the new year. So that being said, we've actually been shifting slurry already. We had 6 tankers away there this week, and yeah, there's always something, there's always plenty to be doing, and there's always plenty of work to do. I can hear the harvester coming and I can't see it, which is a wee bit concerning, so I'm just going to run down here by the road. That's the worst thing about whenever they're cutting me, is because it's so tall you can't see anything at all where they are. Oh wait, I see a spout now, there we go. Wasn't wild far away, but so I was talking about the film earlier on. So that's it there. So that's completely biodegradable, and this will be ploughed back into the ground, and we'll just disintegrate naturally, and we'll just go back into the soil. So if Chris and Alistair decide next year that they're going to go again, that'll just be same thing all over again then. So Connells here, they're actually milking cows. So they are, so this will go towards feeding the cows into their ration mix. Yeah, so ground is still in really quite remarkable condition after all that rain and everything that we've had. If we think back to last year or the year before, we had the tyres on the A-frames at the very end of silage in some places, so go figure. just actually spied this here, so I'll just show you kind of what the actual root makeup is like. So that's one of the benefits there of planting under your plastic there, so you get to see, you know, just how well protected those roots are. So the starting of a new field of maize is always a bit of a slow process. Well, not a slow process, it's just not as easy as what you would find grass or a whole crop or anything like that. They have to swap over trailers and one thing and the other. So we're just waiting on a trailer coming here back to Philly to keep on going. So yeah, I actually really enjoy maize. Maize is probably one of my favourite things that we do. So I suppose to kind of have a wee bit of a reflection on maize in general this year, the planting of it was definitely tricky. This would have been planted, I think this field exactly was planted the same week that we started first cut. So I'm not exactly sure when that was. It was probably into April. But yeah, so this was quite late in being planted. But the weather up until then had been absolutely horrific. It was terrible. Like the rainfall that we had, it was cold. It was just horrible. And whenever you're planting in those sort of conditions, you are always a wee bit concerned with just how well it's going to come. But this has done fantastically well. Maize as a whole for us this year has actually done very, very well. Every customer there that we have who opted to put in maize had fantastic crops and fantastic yields. So we've actually got so many new inquiries actually for next year about putting in maize from not just new customers but for customers who have never actually tried it before. So there's a wee stalk, it didn't go in there, so I'll just throw it in there. Yeah, so I suppose with the rising cost of raw materials that goes into meal and stuff, everybody's just thinking outside the box and trying to think of other ways to make feed and to try and save money. So maize is definitely looking like a good way to go. Just laughing, there's our third trailer. Alex must have took himself off for a wee afternoon siesta there. Yeah, so here we have Philly's in the harvester, that's Alex in the 19, and the Red Rock trailer, that's Kevin and Darren's 8S with the half pipe, and then we have Jack in the 7S and the K2. Adam's buck raking today. There's actually a couple of fellas have just taking a couple of days off, so Craig would usually be buck raking, but he's taking today off, and then everybody else is elsewhere or at home, or they're taking a couple of days just to themselves. So yes, now's the time of year for it. Whenever the kids are still off school and everything else. So it's still half term here in Northern Ireland. So yes, so that is Maize 2022 finito. Once this field has been put in. So I'm not going to say it again, but I still can't believe this is where we are this year. This has been such a fast year. It's been a very busy year, and everything has just, although we did have a terrible start to the year weather-wise, and we had a terrible start to first cut, this year has gone really, really well. It has been a very good, really good year for crops. It's been a really good year for yields, and yeah, do you know what, we can't say anything too bad about 2022, although to be fair it was looking fairly bleak. If you'd asked me that question in the middle of April, it would have been a completely different story. Hopefully next year's going to be a wee bit different, because you definitely couldn't put up that every year. The stress and the pressure and just everything else would put you under. But it's all part and parcel. But I'm hopefully, the boys don't know this yet, but they'll know this whenever they watch this. Going to get them sitting down around the kitchen table someday. Might have to do it in 2 halves, because if I get them all in the one room it might be a bit noisy. And just to kind of get them to give you a bit of feedback just on how they think that the years went and everything else. So yes.